Hi, I'm Dorcas. This is a video that complements the first session of the WordPress course, and so it's aimed at total beginners, and I am logged in here to a fresh installation of WordPress. So let's go. You can see I'm already logged into the dashboard. To log into the dashboard of my WordPress website, I go to whatever my website is /wp-admin. So that's the default login for any WordPress website. Now I'm just going to show you how I can see the preview, or I should say the real live website that I'm working on. So there's two ways to find it. I can hover over the name of the website here in the top left hand corner, hover over visit site, right click, open a new tab, and then you can see that tab, that's the default installation. Or I could have just simply copied out the URL minus the WP-admin part, and then that will also be the same link. So you'll see that this link and this link, they're both the same. So now in the dashboard here, just a really quick overview. You can see there's posts there, that's for blogging. So if you don't care about blogging, you don't care about posts. Pages is where you do the static pages of your website, like for example, the home page, the about, the contact. Media, that's where files are stored on your website that you've uploaded, for example, images, videos, PDFs even. Appearance is anything got to do with the layout of your website. Comments, I skipped that. That's related to comments that might be on your blog. So for example, if you don't want to have comments on your website, you can actually turn that off totally. Plugins, that's for a future course, but just summarize plugins really briefly. Plugins are things that add extra functionality to your website. So you have plugins related to SEO, plugins related to speeding up your website, it's plugins related to e-commerce, plugins related to social media. If you have a copy of the book that I wrote, the WordPress Master Book, there's a chapter there called plugins. There's a section within that chapter called recommended plugins. Under different headings, I've recommended lots of different free plugins that are really good. Users, in here I can see who has access to my website at the moment. That's just me. And in tools and in settings, there's extra stuff that we won't really talk about too much today, except for a few things in settings. So first of all, in settings here, you'll see the text here corresponds to the text that is there. So even though in future I'll probably replace this with my logo, I am going to still put in the name of my business here. So I'm just going to write business name, because business name goes there. And the tagline, that's optional. So if you have a slogan or a tagline, you can put it there. Otherwise, simply delete it. In WordPress, generally speaking, you can't really cause too much damage unless you edit this field or this field. So you're never, ever going to type anything or change anything or edit anything in these two fields here. WordPress address and site URL, stay away from them. If you change even one character there and then save the page, you could suddenly see a white page on your dashboard, your website will disappear, you'll panic, and it's difficult to get it back. Well, it's easy to get it back if you know someone like me who knows about databases and stuff, but you don't want to deal with that. So never, ever, ever, ever change these two fields. They're more telling you where your website is, not necessarily asking you where you want your website to be. So all I'm doing here on this page is changing the site title. Tagline is optional, and then I'm going to scroll down here and click the Save Changes page. Get used to looking for the blue button in WordPress. So by default, that button is blue. Look for it. Sometimes it says save changes, sometimes it says save, sometimes it says update, sometimes it says publish, but generally speaking, blue button means save. So that's that done, and I can see when I refresh here, this should change, and you can see, yes, that does change. So get used to doing a tiny bit of work in your dashboard and then checking. Tiny bit of work and then checking. To check, I refresh my page, so I can either press F5 because I'm on a Windows computer here, or else you might find, depending on the browser you're in, usually like it's a little curly arrow that you can find to refresh. Okay, so now I want to create, let's say, the home page of my website. So I'm going to click into pages. There's default pages there for me here. I'm going to click add new. So I can click pages, add new here, or I can click the add new that you saw me click on at the top of the page. And when I click add new, now I am seeing a page editor. This page editor that I'm seeing was previously called Gutenberg. It's now called Block Editor. It is the default editor that comes with WordPress. The most popular plugin in WordPress as of April 2020, when I'm making this video, is a plugin called Classic Editor, which does nothing more fancy than simply turn off this editor and go back to the default. A lot of people like this, a lot of people hate this. So personally, I'm not using the editor at the moment, although I think that may change in the future, maybe next year, or I don't know. But at the moment, I don't really like the editor. I don't really find it intuitive, and I think it was released too early, although I will say that it has gotten much better in the last few months than it was anytime last year. But for me, I'm just going to really quickly show you, for example, this is the heading. So that's the heading on my page. And here I'm going to click to write some text. So text goes here, and I'm literally just writing that for myself to see where it goes. If you're not a fast typer, I'd recommend you just write some gobbledygook just so you can see where the text goes. Once you know what does what, then I would come back and then edit things and make it just right. So over here, I'm going to click publish in the top right hand side, and then an annoying thing, or this annoys me in Gutenberg, it asks you, are you sure you want to publish? So you have to actually click it twice. So you save it, and then we've made a page, and now let's say, for example, I want to go back to the main dashboard. I'm going to click on the W on the top left hand side, and now I'm back in the main dashboard. And again, I don't think that's intuitive, so I just don't really like that editor. But other people disagree with me, so if you disagree with me, let us know in the comments so other people can see different points of views. Okay, so now I've made this page, and let's say, for example, I want that to be the home page of my website. Now I need to go to Appearance, and then I click into Customize. So this is when I want to assign a page to be the home page on my website. So I go to Appearance, Customize, I click on Homepage Settings, then here I click a static page instead of your latest posts, and then in the drop down I select the page that I want to be the home page. So maybe you've already named that home anyway to make it easy, but you still need to select it like I am here. Up at the top, click Publish. On the left, click the X to go back to the main dashboard. Check what you've done. So I'm coming here to refresh, and I should now see the home page should appear here. So you can see this is the heading, that's the text that I did there. So things are working so far here. Next thing I'm going to do is click into Appearance to see the theme that I'm using. So at the moment I'm using the theme called 2020, and I know that because it is appearing there first, and also it says Active 2020. There are two other themes, I should say, that are also pre-installed with this installation that I'm using, 2019 and 2017. Themes means template in WordPress language. So just to show you how this works, I'm going to activate 2019. Now I'm going to come back and refresh my website, and you'll see that the content stays the same. And okay, I have almost no content on my website, but the content did stay the same. But the layout totally changed. Same thing if I, for example, activate 2017 and refresh, you'll see that the layout will totally change, but the content stays the same. So theme is got to do with the appearance or the layout of your website. Picking themes is difficult. There's recommended themes within the book, but that's a subject for another day. Here I'm just introducing this concept here. I'm going to install, just for practice, a recommended theme. So I'm going to install the free theme called Virtue, Virtue. To do that, I go to Appearance, then I click Add New. I search in the search for Virtue, Virtue, then I'm going to install it, and I wait for that to be installed, and then I activate it. The reason why I like this theme is because it is really good in terms of the control they give you. So you get a lot of control in terms of like the fonts you get to use, the different colors, lots of different sections you can control, and you get a lot of control over a theme, particularly for a free theme. So that's installed. Now I need to activate it, and when it's activated, you'll see I refresh here, and then I refresh too soon. I refresh here, and then everything changes, and of course my content is still the same. Okay, sometimes a theme like this says, thanks for installing, now do something else. And the reason why I say that generically is because you might get a different recommendation for different themes. So this theme is saying, thanks for choosing this this Virtue theme, install Cadence Toolkit, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to install that. So generally speaking, when a theme says thanks for installing, now install something else, most of the time you should do that. So I'm going to do that with Virtue, because with Virtue what that gives me is it gives me loads of extra control over this particular theme. So I'm clicking into theme options that wasn't there before, now it's just here, and this gives me lots and lots of control over this particular theme. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to Pages, If I click add new, I'll see the old or the not old, the previous page editor that you saw when I was making this homepage. Now I'm going to install a plugin that will actually turn that off and go back to the classic editor, which was the standard editor from WordPress from when almost its inception. And it's much more simple. So I'm going to install this. You can see I go to plugins, I go to add new, and without even searching, or I could search for classic editor, but without even searching, I can see it is the most popular plugin. You can see it's installed and activated on over 5 million real websites. So I activate that plugin. And when I activate that plugin, you'll see now if I go back to pages and then add new, you'll see that there's a totally different interface. So this looks a lot more simple now. So up here where it says add title, I'm going to put in my heading. That's your heading 1 if you care about search engine optimization. Here I'm going to put in some text. So this is all about me. And again, just put in some gobbledygook if you don't have your content ready for your website, just so that you can see where that text appears. Now I'm going to publish. I go back to my website. I'm looking for the about page, and of course it's not there. So to do that, you need to go to appearance and menus. So you need to create the page and then add it into your menu. So here I've clicked appearance, I've clicked menus, menu name, it says give your menu a name, then click create menu. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to, let's say, call it main menu. I'm going to create the menu. And now, and I should have zoomed in probably a little bit earlier for you guys already, so sorry about this if it has been too small. But now I am going to add these pages into my menu. You can see I can add the about page there, and then the first page that is actually my home page, you can see it wasn't there in most recent. So sometimes you can search if you have loads of pages made, or else you can click view all and then you can see the pages there. So I'm going to click that, add it to the menu. You can see I can add multiple pages at the same time. So for example here you can see by accident, pretend I've added these pages too many times, so I click the down and then remove, click the down and then remove. And I can also change the order of these things like this. Also, for example, or let's actually just check out to see how this is working. You can see if I refresh, the menu doesn't appear. So I realize I've forgotten something. I've forgotten that I need to select where this actual menu goes. So in display location, for example, I'm going to choose secondary navigation, or maybe I would choose primary, but for now I'm just going to choose secondary, see where that goes, refresh. There's the menu there. I don't like the way this says this is the heading. Even though it says this is the heading here, I don't really like that. So what I'm going to do is just change that here in the menu to home, because I don't want to change the heading on the page, because pretend that's the perfect heading on that page. But you can see how if I save this, I've just changed the navigation label in the menu, but I haven't actually changed the content on that page. Next thing I'm going to do is click on the about page, and I just want to show you a little thing to do, or an important thing to do. If you go into settings and permalinks, you should click on post name, because if you click on post name, what it does is it takes the text from the heading and it automatically puts it into the URL, which is good for SEO. So I'm just going to simply click post name and then save changes. So I've done that in settings, permalinks, click post name and then save changes. Now I'm going to go back to the pages, and you'll see if I click into the about page, you will see the permalink or the URL, which is underneath the heading. So that's here. I can further edit that. So for example, I should put in my search terms here. So for example, I might put in about business name. I can put in spaces between the words because WordPress is clever enough to put in a dash if I don't. So let's update that, and then I'll just show you how that looks. So I'm going to click on the home page and then click back to the about page. And I know it's really tiny for you guys, but you can see the URL here is about business name, because that's what I put there in the URL. And of course the heading is about. So just to be clear, the default when you make a page is that the heading is there, but the heading also goes into the menu, and the heading also now goes into the URL because of the setting you just did. But you can further edit each of those things like I've just shown you how to do. The next thing that I want to show you is really quickly, or at least as quick as I can without going too fast, I want to install a new plugin. So I'm going to appearance and, sorry, that's a lie. I'm going to plugins and add new, and I'm going to install a plugin called Site Origin, or actually Page Builder by Site Origin. Actually, let's just look for Page Builder, because now you can see that I'll see Elementor and Page Builder by Site Origin. These are the two most popular plugins for page builders on WordPress. Elementor is super, super popular and lots of people really like it. I prefer Page Builder by Site Origin, but as you can see, I'm in the minority out of those two plugins. Like there's lots of other Page Builder plugins that are less popular. But in terms of Elementor, you can see it has 4 million installations. Page Builder has 1 million installation. I prefer the Page Builder plugin just because I like how it works a little bit more, but as you can see, lots of people disagree with me. So once I've installed that plugin, then I'm going to go back into Pages. Now I'm going to make a new page. I'm going to make this page, let's just call it Contact for now. And you can see that there's a new tab here that wasn't there before called Page Builder. So when I have this Page Builder installed, I can still use the classic editor, which is here what I'm seeing now, but I can also use the Page Builder. So the Page Builder looks like this. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a pre-built layout just to make it really quick. So I'm going to click pre-built layout. For the first time, it'll ask me, do you want to browse the pre-built layouts directory? So I click enable. And now you can see there's lots of lovely previews that have already been made by professional graphic designers that look really well. A mistake that people make when they come here is they pick, for example, this one because they're making a website about food, or they pick this one because they're making a website about fitness. When you're looking at the pre-built layouts, and by the way, if you just click the preview button, then it'll open up a new tab and then you can see the layout. So if, for example, you're looking at this one, try to see it without the pictures and without the text, as in try to see it with your pictures, because you're going to replace all of these pictures with your pictures. You're going to replace all of the text with your text. And even on top of that, you can change everything and tweak everything anyway. So for example, if I like this, this could be perfect for my website about dentistry, about swimming, about hiking, about anything at all. So for example, let's just say I'm going to choose this one. So I click on it, then I click insert. If I already have some content there, it's handy because it asks you, do you want to insert this after or before what you've already done, or replace what you've already done? I haven't actually done anything, so it doesn't matter what I click. And now I'm going to insert this into my page. And now if I publish this, and remember, this is my contact page, so I also need to add it into my menu. I'm going to add it into my menu first, but you can see one little thing there. It's saying missing widget. This happens the very first time you use this plugin. It says the widget is not available, so I'm going to have to install that widget. So it's called Site Origin Widget Hero. So I'm going to install that plugin. So I'm going to go to Appearance, Plugins, and Add New. And I'm going to search for that plugin. The search isn't very good, so I'm just getting rid of the underlines, or the underscores I should say, and then it should appear. So there you go, Site Origin Widgets Bundle. And by the way, now you know that you're supposed to get that with the Site Origin Page Builder plugin. You could also install that like now, for example, without it prompting you to. So I'm going to install that and then activate it. Now if I go back to my page, I still had it left open. I'm just refreshing the page to sort of give it a kick, like in the old days when you would smack your television on the top to try to get the aerial to work, if anyone old like me is watching this video. So now if I, for example, update this page, I'm also going to go into Appearance and Menus because I want to add this page into my menu. By the way, I could click the preview changes to see, but because I want to build a real website, I want to show you how to add these pages into the website itself. So I go to Appearance, Menus, the contact page is there. I click. Now it's here. Save the menu. Go back to my preview, and oh no, that's not my preview. That's the demo. My preview is here, so I'm going to refresh, and you can see contact is here. And when I click contact, you can see this. The installed demo is here. So everything looks good, except for I can see over on the right hand side there's a weird sidebar that's happening, and the reason why that's there is because I need to hide the sidebar. Generally you would want to hide the sidebar if you want to use a page builder, like a full width lovely page builder like this. So I'm going to go back into Pages, I'm going to go into Contacts, and over on the right hand side you can see where it says Default Template. I'm going to select full width because I want this to be full width. By the way, this could be different if you're using a different theme to me. So you might see something like no sidebar, or full width, all one word, or full dash width or something. But the answer to hide the sidebar is going to be somewhere within there. And something weird happened with my internet. But if I refresh, or if I refresh even here on my contact page, then I should see this sidebar disappearing there. So you can see the sidebar disappeared there. So that is all I'm going to cover for today. That's maybe enough to get you started a little bit with WordPress. Thank you for watching, and there will be more videos to help you coming up.